My name is Flavia Nagai Akwom. I'm from central Uganda. I'm from the Buganda tribe.
My name is Russel Akwom. I am not a Ugandan. I'm totally a Kenyan, and I'm happy to be married to Flavia. It's been a good ride. You know, living with somebody, I'm going to use a cliche, it's a bed of roses, right? Now it's upon you to decide whether it is more of the flowers or more of the thorns. To me, I would say it's been nice, it's been fantastic, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
He came home, because in my tradition, you do the visitation first, then you do the introduction, then the wedding. So when he came home, with the dad came all the way from UK to come to my parents and officially introduce the family. So my mom was, okay, is Flavia, you're going all the way to Kenya for a relationship, for marriage. So I told her, yes, mommy, just support me. This is it. There is a special person, my grandmother. So at least they would hint, but not so much. Because one of my grandmother, my mom's mom, would tell me, Flavia, you will get married when you're ready. Do not do it under peer pressure. You have all my support and you have all my blessings, but what I know, you'll one day get married. So when I got that assurance, I just closed off. I was so comfortable. My introduction, it happened when she was still alive, Florence Sally, when she was still alive. She was so happy. She told me, Flavia, you see this is what I told you. Don't follow peer pressure. Everything will happen at the right time. Unfortunately, she couldn't live to see the wedding. But whatever she had wished us for, that had come true. Because I remember when I gave birth to my son, I named him after her husband, Sally. Because my late grandfather was Professor Francis Sally. So I named him after my grandfather. So immediately she got to know that I had given birth. All she said was, now my life is complete. Now that I've lived to see my great-grandson from you, because my sisters already had children, but from her, she had never seen my own. So she was so happy, and she told me, whatever you wish for, you will get. So everyone said, when are you getting married and all that, but for me, I had my assurance from my grandmother and from my mom that whatever I wished for will definitely come to pass, because those were the important people in my life. Yes, and my dad wouldn't say anything, because for him he's a carefree person. As long as you're comfortable, it's okay. Whatever decision you make, I'll definitely support you. So that is what I had, and the peer pressure, I wouldn't pay attention to it. Yes.
I first spoke to her in 2004. Can you believe that? Introduced her in 2013 and married her in 2017. That's how long the journey has been.
Flavia, she has been a very good girl since her lifetime. She's very faithful. She's a person who is very cool all the time and hardworking. Well, I just wish her the best for the next stage, because making a wedding is not very easy. In terms of marriage, I just want her to be faithful with the husband, to be faithful to each other and love each other and trust each other all the time.
So the morning of the wedding was okay. I was still not believing that I'm finally getting married to this handsome man, engineer, Russel. I still couldn't believe that I was the one wearing that dress. It really looked good. And the feeling was, I don't know, I don't know how to explain it. Yes, because I looked at my mom while I was fitting in. She was just stunned, she was just speechless. She couldn't also believe.
I'm very happy at this moment because I'm on this day is for my girl, my firstborn, to get married officially in church. Charity begins at home. And they've received a very wonderful girl. Very wonderful. This attire, this is our traditional attire. Every woman who is respectable should put on this in Uganda. The attire is called in a gomas in Uganda. Yeah, I don't know it in English because it is a traditional dress for Uganda. She should respect all the relatives, name it, however poor, however rich, on the same level. Expecting babies, more than 20.
Introduction, I think we hired a musician to come in with me. So we wanted it, since we were in a foreign land, we wanted it to be unique, to bring in our tradition. So it depends on how you want it. Sometimes the bride just goes in, but we also wanted the Kenyan people to also be entertained. So that's why the dancers came prior, so that they can do a bit of entertainment at the church. Some hire bands. So because on my mom's wedding, she hired a band, a police band. So they are the ones who entertained at church and at the reception. So we also thought that maybe if we bring something different, say that like the traditional dancers who are not known in Kenya, would be unique in a way. Okay. Yes.
While we were still waiting, I remember what was going through my mind was just, okay, it's finally here. Let's get it over with. This is what we've planned, and it's time that it happens, okay? And the other thing I was wondering was what she looks like, because I'd not seen the gown at all. So I liked the way it was, and I was happy. And when I saw her in that dress, it's like I was seeing her for the first time for some strange reason. Sort of shocked me. She looked different, yet I knew her. She looked like I'm looking at a stranger, yet I know this stranger, okay? So I guess to me it was just a start of a new thing with a new person. And she looked beautiful.
He was all smiling. I don't know what was going in his head. I'm like, hey, this is the first bride groom I'm seeing. Very smiling, because most of them are the ones we see on TV cry. And he says, those are weak men. So I was ready. I was ready to also make fun of him, but unfortunately he disappointed me. He was just smiling. Walking down the aisle, for me, I wasn't feeling for myself. I was only feeling for my parents because my mom, my dad, they were so happy. They were so happy. Because if you look at that video, looking at my mom, I don't know. Because I told Russell, whatever I'm doing it for these two old people, mommy and daddy. Because I'm sure when they took me to school, got the nice jobs, then the other thing they were remaining to see was a wedded girl. So them, because in Kampala, the mom doesn't hold the bride's hand. What happens, it's the dad only, then the mom, and the brother, they follow her behind. So for her, it was also shocking to see that she's indeed taking part in the wedding, walking me down the aisle, of which I really loved that. Because I told Russell, you know what? I can't imagine that day when mommy is walking me down the aisle, because I know daddy will. But for mommy, it's the first time. Even in the introduction, the mom can't sit with the visitors. She has to be in the background. So for this one, it really meant a lot for her, really. Yes. Then the song I also played, I really wanted it to reach home because it was Mother, How Are You Today by Maywood. This is the song Mommy used to play whenever she's dropping us very early at school, picking us from school. This is the song she would always play. So just play it for her. So we were settled.
Us whether they have paid all the bride, the dowry rather. Have they paid all the dowry?
I demand nothing.
Saved all, or she kept by herself? For herself? You received everything? Everything, okay.
To be my wife, I promise to be true to you in good times and in bad.
In sickness and in health, I will love you and honor you all the days of my life.
But it was interesting. It was, I would just watch that on TV or attend weddings. So it really meant a lot because I was the one now participating, now saying those vows, it was exciting.
You realize, you know what, from now on, everyone, not only the two of you, but everyone understands that you're married. It's really not going to be that difficult because if they understand we are together, I'm sure if there are problems, they'll understand that we need help to sort those problems. And that sort of assured me a lot.
I don't know what really convinced him or who convinced him.
Me, I don't know what convinced me. Is it really convincing I needed? I mean, like I mentioned earlier, I think her work permit was up to renewal. Yeah? And, you know, the efforts we'd put to have our work permit renewed and some of the questions that were being asked. You know, if you're married, where's the certificate and stuff like that. So I was just thinking, okay, we've done a traditional thing and it doesn't really have a certificate with it. And these questions keep coming. Even as we renew this permit, why don't we just go ahead and get a certificate, okay? And I just started thinking around it in that aspect. And one day I just decided, you know what, let's do this thing. And to me, which is the biggest really, was the fact that, you know, fine, you've met her, you like her, you love her, you know, why don't you just publicly declare it then? Okay? And not publicly as in, you know, all over the media, but in a way that everyone understands. And everyone in the society understands weddings, okay? And I think that also played a key role in that decision. And finally, in the introduction of 2013, they insisted upon me to ensure that they are invited for the wedding. I mean, I think that was a subtle way to just tell you that, we expect the wedding after this. It does not end here.
I was wondering, I think we have enough women in Kenya, I mean, you have to cross the border, but all it had to take was for me to meet her. Then I understood why. So it is without boundaries, True love is without boundaries. Flavia is a wonderful woman. I'm very happy he found such a woman. I don't think he could do much better even if I chose for him, I don't think I could do much better even if I chose myself, Yeah, she's a wonderful woman.
I'm from Uganda, Kampala. Yes, the bride is my sister. First of all, I feel so happy being in Nairobi. It's my first time to be here. Yeah, it's really my first time. And Nairobi is really, really a good place. I like it. Wish her a happy marriage. Yeah, lots of kids. Yeah, and blessings to their family. And
Russel is a very quiet person, though actually has to say he's more of an intro extrovert. Yeah, but he's brilliant. He's fun. He's fun to be around with. Maybe to just continue being himself, love Flavia, yeah, and maybe try more of our foods. He doesn't like eating ants, what we call grasshoppers. He calls them ants. So I hope he adopts to those kind of, because they're also nutritious. It's healthy. So let him eat more ants, more grasshoppers, fish. He doesn't like fish. He doesn't like katogwe, the matoke and pottage. He doesn't like. He's just very basic ugali and goat's meat, or ugali and meat, nothing more. So I want him to experiment more of our food culture, because as Ugandans we just go out there, like it's all there. Yeah, so we want him to just maybe do that.
Because back home, the bride enters alone. So everyone stands up, So as we were coming out, Russel told me, your dream entry will not be possible. You are in Kenya, and all the mamas and everyone have to come and, pick you from the entrance. Yeah. So, but the way they did it, it was really lively. It was lively because they were singing, clapping, It was a joyful part, very.
Well, that's one of the events I enjoyed the most.
That's it.
Yeah, because then I could genuinely see the happy faces. Yeah, I think that's, to me, was what the celebration was all about. It's not even the food, it was really the happiness and the dancing. And I totally had fun in that.
Seeing my parents, my aunties in their traditional wear, it was really, I was home. I was home. It really made me feel home. So when the time came for my people also to do theirs, I felt at home. I felt in Uganda, though the body was in Kenya.
We welcome this young girl into the community as a member, not just someone that dowry has been paid for. She has come to join the fraternity of that family and that community.
From his side, they took me in as their daughter, which was really very key, hearing it from the head of the family, Mr. Akwom himself. He took me in as the daughter, and he pledged to always support us. Then they also promised to love me more and more, which was really key, because for me that is very, very important. Actually, the whole dress code was coordinated because I have a sister. She's a designer. In Kampala, whenever you go for a wedding, each wedding you go to, you must have a new dress. So meanwhile, you're the guest, but you want to dress as if you're the bride. So she would literally make for me a dress on each wedding. So this time, her and the husband put together their ideas and made for me that dress, the beading, the way it came out.
But the new dress also, which I hadn't seen, again, was really, I liked it. Whoever made it did a very, very good job. One thing that worked for me then is in the year that we met for the first time, that was 2012, right?
2011.
2011, okay. It was in October. And I remember because it was Kenyatta Day, and Kenya was playing against Uganda football. So I remember I got a ticket, flew down to Kampala, and on that same day, she took me to meet her mother. I haven't met her, long. I've not been with her long enough to truly and fully understand her, and she's already whisking me off to her mother. It was really nice, because I remember when I walked into their house for the first time to meet the mother, remember she couldn't shake my hand, but immediately she told me that she went down on her knees to say hello and to welcome me to the house. And I'm just thinking, wow. I don't know what I was thinking then. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to act. It was just, I was just in a place that I'd never been before, obviously, and I didn't know what to do. They just needed to know my background more in Kenya. And I have a feeling the mother, all she wanted to know was that I wasn't an old man.
So I went and told mommy. I told her, hey, mommy, that's my friend, because he was wearing a Kenyan t-shirt, jersey.
Yes.
So she told me, okay, you can now bring him home. I have confirmed he's not a sponsor. I was happy that she had accepted. And that's when we decided to go home. I decided to take him home to meet her officially.
This is my dream wedding.